Hello and welcome back to the 2018 College Championship presented by State Farm. And UMD have escaped the clutches of defeat with a full throttle team guy. I think that's an excellent description of what that was.
I'm hoping for the salty run back. I want the same comps. Give me that game again. And I mean, that was honestly insane. UMD just looked like a completely different team. You could tell even just watching the player cams, how much more relaxed they were. They were having fun. You know, they weren't necessarily going into that third game expecting to still win the series. And then they played very comfortable. They played very relaxed, and they were popping off. And Quirk did an absurd amount of work as Brand.
That DPM is actually stupid. That game wasn't that long, and late game 6-item crit carries in the old patch have done way less than that.
Yeah, definitely the case. I mean, he was just doing so much work, really finding such good ultimates with Brand, buying his time. Never really got caught by the engage from Zach or Khan ever. So he's positioning very well. He's finding the good ultimates, and he was such a threat in those team fights that, it felt like UCI maybe should have been prioritizing taking out the support instead of the Draven, which sounds funny to say, but I mean, he doubled Draven's damage.
Yeah, I mean, he really just kind of put so many of the fights on his back, and he did, in fact, pop off. So, I mean, I'm personally hoping at least for a Brand run back, if nothing else, because I think Quirk played really well on the champion. Still, we'll see what happens here in the draft.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm UCI, I'd probably just ban Brand after that game. I mean, that's the thing. You can say, well, that kind of hurt. The Brand kind of screwed us. They could ban that out, but the other option is just kind of saving your support pick for later and saying, okay, well, we do have counter pick. If we're worried about him picking Brand, if we feel like, oh, we need more of a tanky engage or something along those lines, then maybe you can kind of sit back and try to get a safer matchup or whatever you're kind of thinking.
And it's funny because this was the exact same position last time when they first picked Riot. One of the funny things is that right as we went to commercial, there was a small thing from one of their players saying, hey, if we get 10 kills early, we still need champions to close out the game. Rise actually was a pretty good insurance policy in that game, so we could still get some madness, and actually worked out very well. White also played quite well on that champion.
Yeah, he played exceptionally well, honestly. He was doing very, very well throughout the game. And the early Galio here, so expecting that to be a mid-lane Galio, and if you're saying, okay, well, what do we think UMD is going to do? If they're just going to play all this crazy stuff that dives in and tries to only 5v5, well, Galio is very good into that. And if UCI just drafts for an incredibly powerful team fight, then that's kind of saying, well, come at us. You have to be able to actually beat that. And the Camille Galio combo is very strong. It is a classic, not only for team fight, 5v5 for the engage. The expression on his face we saw it locked in was
You can't believe he got Rise again.
He's like, oh, I got it. Wow. I was really good on that champ. But Camille and Galio split push is also very, very good. I mean, your Captain Nuke has been winning in the side lane every game, right? Clearly he is the stronger top laner in that lane, and now you've drafted a Galio alongside that to help it out. And Zyra, let's go.
All right, don't want to pick Brand this game. Take a very similar style support. Oh, actually not going to be Flex given that the Rise is there. So Quirk is sticking to the AP carry support.
Zyra.
You know what? At this point, I'll take
Zyra.
it. Ooh, now you're talking. Yeah. Hang on a second. There's Lucian as well for Alrighty.
Yeah, I just never know where to say stuff's going with Maryland. Yeah, you never know what they're going to do.
They have Lucian. There you go.
Yeah, they have a Lucian. They have 3 champions. Their positions are undetermined at this time.
We'll see what Irvine takes here, though. Kind of interesting to see so many changes here in the draft. Just as far as the orders where they pick jungle very early, Rakan basically every time they could get it as the first pick, but they'll save a lot of the bot lane picks for later. And Youngbin, of course, going to move his jungler down as well. Looks like Ashe is locked in. So another big shift for Lapman.
Yeah, a lot of engage here drafted so far for UCI. You have the Galio Camille combo, of course, but also the Ashe Arrow. We are assuming it's Zyra, Lucian bottom lane for Maryland. And Zyra, as you said, is, in my mind, really kind of the most similar support to Brand as far as actual damage output. Those are 2 of the champions that can consistently... You got a Yasuo ban.
That's amazing.
Yang drew a Yasuo ban. That is incredible, actually. But Zyra really is the other champion that can kind of top the damage charts as a support. You really do put out tremendous amounts of damage. Your poke is even easier to get off in lane. That being said, similar to Brand, you're incredibly susceptible to engage if you do get caught out. This is about the squishiest champion in the game. You're going to die nearly instantly, so you have to position well. You have to make sure you're getting your combo out before you do go down. And Lee Sin taken away as well. I think that actually makes a lot of sense with how well Wesley played on the pick. And I would love to see Wezzy find another really kind of aggressive playmaking jungler. I'm just not sure where he would want to go here. And on the other side of it, Maryland targeting Bloodwater, trying to take away some of these supports, and it's going to be
MF support.
The world's classic. Yeah, it's going to be the traditional counter pick, well, lane counter, whatever.
Yeah.
The MF support, and one of the reasons, if you don't actually remember this, was so good, is simply harassment with the E onto the Zyra, hitting your comment off that, and also the MF passive counts as a second hit for taking down Zyra's plants. So you can kill those plants and actually one auto with an MF, which is very frustrating to deal with for Zyra support.
Jhin locked in. Oh, Lucian.
It's Lucian top.
Oh yeah, because they have Rise.
Sure Lucian top. That's why I said, man, you can't actually. All
right,
guess.
They picked Jhin. That's it. That's all I'm willing to commit to.
Zyra
absolutely picked Jhin.
Zyra Jhin is actually really strong as well, because it's very easy to proc the passive there for Jhin, so he can actually get the W root, and you can follow that up with a Zyra root. That can be pretty strong. So yeah, it's going to be Zach. It's going to be Lucian top into Camille. Rise mid, Zyra plus Jhin bottom lane versus the Ashe and MF. And
like a final answer.
We are waiting, yeah, we're waiting to find out what the final pick is here. And potentially, there could be even more flexing going on. I'm assuming it's actually just the Camille top for Captain Nuke, but theoretically this could be jungle. And you could actually swap the Aurelia to top, which is probably what that is. If they're going Aurelia, I'm assuming it is actually, in fact, Camille jungle for Youngbin. So a lot of craziness happening in these drafts, a lot of flex picks, a lot of kind of moving around here for these two teams, and it's going to be action-packed. Aurelia, I think, makes a lot of sense into the Lucian, though. There's honestly, if you don't get ahead on the Lucian, there's very little you can do against the Aurelia. If you ever get stunned, you're probably just going to get it all in. Even if you don't get hit by the stun, if the Aurelia is level 6, you can expect an all-in there also. But certainly Lucian does have potential to get ahead, and if you can put that Aurelia behind, Lucian can really be strong in the mid game. Has some powerful engage here from Wezzy as well, and we're gonna have to find out if they're gonna be able to pull it off once more. They made some magic happen in game 3.
How much do they have left, though? I do really like the Camille pick there from Youngbin. Not necessarily the exact pick, but just the change in philosophy. Like, willing to flex it, playing a much more aggressive jungler. Youngbin's kind of been at the mercy of Wezzy's pick in a lot of these games, so now he's the one who will get to dictate more of the early game.
And it's interesting. You know, my thought is definitely that it was intended when it was picked as a top lane. But when you see the opportunity to actually play Aurelia into Lucian, you're probably going to be pretty happy about that. And Yang is going all in on the lane. PTA, plus he's going Ignite.
Hey.
So this is not a teleport Lucian. This is an Ignite, press the attack Lucian, looking to all in on the laning phase, trying to take over.
Well, see if he can do just that, because he's really had it handed to him by Captain Nuke all series long. But made it work with some good team play, some teleports on the Yasuo with a lot of help from Wezzy. Now kind of left to his own devices. 1v1 versus Nuke. See how it all pans out.
I feel like you have to see Wezzy go top lane this game for once. You know, like, you've got to protect your Ignite Lucian.
Protect your assets.
And they're looking for the 5-man squad. We'll see if they can find a little cheeky invade here. Well, I mean, if Nuke face checks and has to actually blow a flash or something, that would be a nice start, but should be able to spot him out and retreat.
Already there, yep, does see them and runs away. You're going to hop in the next brush, and we'll repeat.
Yep.
Ooh, don't even see him, actually.
And at the same time, on the bottom side, you can see UCI just going to counter invade, get down their own vision, and they're going to have a really good amount of information on where UMD is going. Even Descarton dropping a river ward to be super safe, making sure that they're not doing anything super crazy and kind of catching them off guard. There's double wards in the bottom side. There's that river ward. They will know exactly where Wezzy is going to start, and will catch him going over. And they're actually setting up a pick here. 4-man camping this bush.
I like this a
but
lot.
It's 4 men from WMD.
Oh no, they split up a little bit longer. Now the taunt actually being channeled. There's the flash taunt. They find it. First blood over to Desperate Taunt.
No.
The failed flash gets them too. The dual lane goes down.
Oh, Yank's reaction. Oh, that is a rough start for UMD. And that's what's going to happen when you do 5-man invade on the other side. You open yourself up to really getting punished because you don't have vision when you're re-entering your bottom side jungle. And UCI takes full advantage of that, and Wezzy making us passive proc. He needs to run.
Yeah, Youngbin here looks for the flash, does find the stun. Passive still procs. Bloodwater up here as well. White roaming down. Descarton can't make it, so looks like the Zach will stay alive. Oh, just barely though.
Yeah, that is about as bad of a start as you can actually have in this game. I mean, the 2 kills, you lose your red. You lose your passive, and you have to do a leashless start as well for this Zac. So definitely up against it already is UMD, but we'll see if they can make some magic happen. It's 2 summoners down on their bottom lane here as well, which is going to make Quirk have to play that much more safely when there's always the potential of ganks.
Bottom lane is certainly in a bit of trouble there for UMD, but Yang's having the time of his life right now, pushing up on Lucian top, trying to deny as many of these CS as he can. Youngbin with the red buff though. See where he goes. Looks like back down to his camps. Nuke there looking for the stun, finds it. Lucian going in, has the ignite. Doesn't burn it just yet though.
Very patient, but he is so low. I mean, 1 more stun hits and you are dead, and Camille is coming up. Wezzy can't really do much to contest. I mean, Wezzy might actually execute in the jungle. He has about no health. 3 men moving up to the top side. They may evade or they may go for Yang.
Yang knows now. Oh, he was maybe a little too late. Actually does dash out from under the hook shot. Now they're going to threaten Nuke again.
Now they're just going to go into the jungle. They know that the Zac is going to be struggling to clear if he's clearing it all. The stun barely connects.
Yep, again, the W, but the flash is not bad. Yang, though, is going to go down. Captain Nuke with the outplay.
Nicely done there for Captain Nuke. White comes in. He's looking for the kill. Should probably be able to clean it up. But
on here, though.
It's going to make it tough.
Looking for the stun again, but Descraton just trying to shepherd his teammate out. Now they're ready with the taunt, but White just backs away.
Yeah, and that is rough. When your Ignite top laner dies solo to the TP laner who is going to kind of outscale him, it's going to be really, really tough. The start's so hard now for UMD. And here it is again, this face check. They're not even kind of grouped as 4, just very unfortunate. They didn't have vision on this side of the map. And UCI kind of anticipating that they're going to come down because they had the vision. They spotted them moving down to the bottom side of the map. And
that's a bit of happy sad there from Quirk, I believe. He's not sure. He's like, well, it was fun, but I don't know how I feel about it. I wish we'd gotten the kills early on. Also, credit to Descraton for taking W level 1, saving that skill point, making sure that all worked out. But 2,000 gold ahead, almost, the UCI.
Yeah, very early on. It's pretty rough. And I mean, the bottom lane, it's going to be so tough for them also because, you know, it is Zyra against an MF and an Ashe. Like, you just get poked from so far away. Your plants get one shot there by the MF. And Wessy's looking, but because he's still level 3, the engage range is pretty short. Actually, on the elastic slingshot, you really need pretty much level 5, I would say, before it starts becoming kind of more of a threat. So we'll see if he's going to be able to get there, but having lost all of his camps, he's spotted out, he's put behind, it's really, really tough. And your bottom lane is just going to get spammed with volley and make it rain on this MF, and you're just kind of getting poked out from outside of your range.
TP back in from Descraton, level 5 now on the Galio. Presumably Abyssal Mask is that first item, does have the Catalyst up nice and early. Have seen a lot of evaders though, so certainly options there, and I think again, like UCI just playing it very calm, really intelligent stuff to kind of move themselves to this spot and now using the power they picked in their lane. I think the thing that you already highlighted in Champ Select though is that it went bad in the worst possible place in top lane. Because as the further Yang falls behind on this Lucian, like, it just becomes exponentially worse.
Yeah, and I mean, he still is going to have some chances. It's not like it's completely over. I mean, if he can get Captain Nuke to go on him, you know, Ignite still is pretty powerful for gank assist. But we'll see. You know, Nuke is pretty healthy here and went double Dorans, so.
Youngbin also not spotted because his teammate just hookshotted to see if someone was coming down. A dive being started here. Descraton's level 6 and roaming down towards the bot lane, and this is trouble for Maryland.
Yeah, this is going to be almost impossible to get away from. Camille just needs to go over the wall and you can get an ult or even just a W flash here.
Again, Descraton just lining up the taunt, finds one, the stun on the other one is good enough as Youngbin takes down Quirk. The double about as quickly after it. UCI back to dominance.
Yeah, flawlessly done there by UCI. They've taken the advantage that they've built off of the level 1. They get the dive on the bottom side, and they are out to a 5-0 early lead. This is 3,000 gold advantage in 6 minutes.
Yeah, and we've seen again UCI just such a good team at taking their lead and just never letting you get back into the game. UMD even had a rough ride in the last game that they won, but let's watch this very cleanly executed dive again.
Yeah, this is just really well done. There's honestly no escaping this from the Maryland bot lane. You can flash, but it's not going to get you anywhere. So just kind of accepting the death there. I believe Quirk's flash was actually still on cooldown. I'm not sure if the Jin one was up. I think it may have been, but he was too far up in the lane to ever get out. So holds on to the summoners, maybe can potentially get away from a repeat gank later on, but you know, bad goes to worse in this matchup as it's a BF Sword Dagger buy versus Swifty Boots, and that's going to be really tough to get that.
Maybe in this one too, Youngmin doesn't have his smite, going to try and steal the buff, does not get it. Wezzy with a very quick snap smite. So no steal this time around. Wezzy does get away with his buff.
Yeah, be able to survive, so take that, win where you can get it, and White, you know, still doing fine in mid lane. Top is still going somewhat fine. You know, they are still even in farm, so there are, you know, some things working for them, but the bottom lane really is the concern, and the fact that, you know, Wezzy is not able to kind of get out and be proactive on the map is also a pretty big concern. You know, we've seen in the first 2 games, Maryland wasn't able to really match up as far as the macro play against UCI. It was all really about them getting an advantage, but this is a pretty sneaky play here from Yang. He's actually trying to catch Youngbin on the red, and Youngbin likely will go for that red.
Yep, does have his smite, so it's about time to go for
With
it.
the Ignite, this should be a kill if he goes for it, but they have sniffed this out.
Really smart. Now they're calling in a start. Youngmin does juke out of the way. Yang, though, should be safe. No Galio in mid lane.
Yeah, just a smart play there from UCI, realizing, hey, Lucian is missing. There's a good chance he could have come over here. Yang probably could have got the kill if he wanted to flash Ignite, but then he's probably dying on the way out, so he decides to kind of hold on to it. Just not quite enough damage with the culling to take down Youngbin.
Yeah, discretion this time around. Yang will get back to lane safely. Nuke actually with an early Tiamat. Kind of interesting item there on Aurelia. Don't always see that one. Triforce Rush, usually the standard, but certainly good on her as well.
Well, and with the new Aurelia, the Tiamat has become more and more standard, simply because one of the things that's so nice about it is it actually helps to prep the wave for your Q, so you can use those minions to kind of dash around a lot more. And people are just finding wave clear is just so much more valuable than almost anything else. You know, if you're winning a matchup, well, wave clear allows you to push in and set up a dive. If you're losing a matchup, wave clear allows you to survive, and you can also just kind of shove out the waves and roam and do all these different things. So Tiamat on a lot of fighters and boosters and these sorts of champions is just becoming like almost mandatory. You know, on Fled, Aurelia, and even, you know, Fiora, etc., etc., etc. All these champions just rushing Tiamat.
Wezzy was looking down towards the bot side. Does have his ultimate, but again, a little too much coverage there on the bot side. UCI playing with some respect, and he's Youngbin. Still not 6 just yet. We'd like to get his ulti ready to really amp up the power and threat of those ganks, but looking for a blue buff steal to kind of get enough experience to get over the line.
Yeah, this should get him 6, and Yang knows that he was up there. He saw the ward actually get dropped from the bush, so he says, well, guess I got to go back to base. There's no real way he can survive a potential dive, especially if it is a 3-man. And this gets tough, because then that means not only you're giving up the topside jungle, you're probably giving up your turret, and they got to make a play on bot. We'll see if they can make it happen.
Here's Wezzy, finds a tower for the slap together, but a good ult from Bugwater, going to zone them out of the way. The arrow is nice. Wezzy forced a flash. TP cancelled though. That was Nuke coming down.
Yeah, and Galio actually used his as well, but was canceled. So, you know, both TPs expended there. And looking for the re-engage actually going in.
Yep, Wezzy going to trying to make it happen. Good move back there as he bounces them back into the team. Alrighty, able to pick up the kill, and Nuke here. Oh, that's a very good Vanguard Zed, but a flash from Alrighty is going to get him out. Got to protect the Zac Wobblets if they can. 2 left, but they do keep them alive.
Yeah, and Yang is about to get double teamed up here on the top side. Youngbin and Descraton moving up. We'll see if he can get out, but I don't see it happening.
Ulti's at the ready for both. Youngbin, yep, just go straight for the ultimatum. The taunt in from Descraton. There's the damage done, and Youngbin able to get another kill.
Yeah, picks up that kill on the top side of the map, but it was a really nice re-engage there from Wezzy to get Maryland on the board. They do get a kill on the support. Not the juiciest of targets, but still it's something. And fortunately for them, this turret is already fairly low, and they have no TP available because White used his to go bot. Yang brought Ignite. As the wave stacks up, they could walk this in and secure themselves the first turret if they want, but they may just decide to back off.
Yeah, but they're recalling instead, just going to deny as many minions as they can to the turret. And so we watch this one again from Wezzy.
And Wezzy knows he has his passive, so he's okay going in at low HP. Does actually nail the engage, slaps them together. The ultimate comes out. Barely misses out on pulling Lapman in too, but they get the 1 kill. Nuke going in, as we know, is only able to force out the passive, and this is just no chance for Yang. You can't actually get out of the Galio taunt when you're pulled into that ultimatum, so no use blowing the summoners, and he's just going to have to accept the death.
Does do so. Only his second of the game so far. UCI though back to being proactive. We're going to take down the Drake. Have the Nuke is actually back down here. making sure his team is at full strength if a fight were to break out, but Drake should be pretty easily handled. Oh, Quirk gets arrowed. Wonderful work from Latman.
Yeah, really nice combo, and now Alrighty is going to be going down here also. He has been kind of sectioned in, and there's no way out.
Part one of accepting your death. Back on the board here, Alrighty is going to go down. No summoners to speak of anywhere, but Youngbin once more with a kill. 4-0-3 right now on the Camille.
Yeah, he is doing very, very well. Already a warrior plus a Sheen, really strong at this point of the game, and Latman and Bloodwater kind of flexing their bottom lane muscles, showing the double ultimate release there onto the Zyra. There's not really any surviving that. If you connect with the Ash Arrow onto a Zyra, the MF ult is probably just going to kill you from full, so no real way out there. We'll see if Bloodwater does build into what used to be the standard, which was, you know, kind of the Executioner's Black Cleaver, that sort of stuff next. We started Stealthies for the gold, but not sure where he's going to go just yet.
Well, again, we'll watch it. I mean, UMD may be a little too ambitious to try and contest here.
Yeah, they wanted to see if they could make anything happen, and you know they're definitely feeling the pressure as far as the game slipping out of their hands, trying to make a little bit of a play, but certainly not enough members down on this side of the map, and no way out for Alrighty. So another couple kills go over to UCI. They get the Dragon anyway. They've already secured first turret, and now sending Latman up to top to get ready to grab the next one.
Ooh, good stun. Nuke not going to follow though.
I think Nuke didn't think it was going to hit, so he actually backed off. He probably could have all in there, had the ultimate available, and probably could have gotten a kill, to be honest, or at least summoners, but I think he thought that it was sidestepped. The hitbox is somewhat deceiving. It looked like Yang was out of it.
Certainly did, but clipped by the end as Nuke continues his basically series-long shenanigans there, just pressuring down a side lane and giving UCI so much breathing room across the map. Again, tier 2 in bottom lane is under threat. The only turret that's been taken is the bottom outer, excuse me. And the UMD are grouped up with this Rift Herald, but UCI going to sniff that out and probably shut it down. Yeah,
they could go for the Camille Galio ultimate combo here. Galio is just kind of going back to mid lane. Desperton wants to push down out before any potential fights, and Captain Nuke has been playing so heavily in the side lanes, and a lot of credit actually.
Ooh, Bloodwater, what a great little juke out of the Deadly Flourish. Youngbin getting out, the arrow is going to hit onto Yang, but they're going to keep going. Alrighty, just takes down Bloodwater. And now they bounce back in for the Galio, but Discredit happy to taunt it up now. Galio goes in. There's the kill. The Galio all going to come down to try and protect the rest of them. Nuke also arrives in time to look to play cleanup, but 2 for 1 in favor of UCI.
Yeah, the anti-synergy there between Descreton and Bloodwater on that Jhin ultimate. Juking each other out. And stops the actual jump away.
Good taunt, damage down from the Q, but the kill in from Alrighty might save him. Culling is good. Yang picks up a kill. Gonna even up the turret score, but Nuke gonna try and make it happen. What a wonderful Vanguard's Edge. We're gonna chase down Yang. Gets him with the tip of the W. And the TP cooldown burnt as well.
Yeah, nicely done. At the same time, Latman and Youngbin knocked down the top lane turret, but Captain Nuke is enabled so well by his team because, you know, he's able to play so well in the side lane, and he is obviously winning in his 1v1 and deserves the credit for that, but he's able to also spend so much time in those side lanes because his 4-man squad is able to stay safe and get enough vision and not actually get engaged on, which is a lot harder than it sounds. Sometimes the difficult job on split push team is actually not for the split pusher, it's for the other 4 members who then have to not get caught.
Yeah, but again, UCI's decision making and overall map play has been so good all tournament long that certainly the whole team deserves credit for how they set up in all these different factions. And again, this looked like a pretty decent start here for UMD, despite how long they were on the objective.
Yeah, and Bloodwater kind of getting caught out a little bit here. Now, this could have been an easily avoided death. I mean, Desperate Bloodwater juking out there. All 3 bullets managed to find the mark. Nicely aimed by Alrighty, but then the re-engage comes in, and the gold advantage was so big, so it does end up being that 2 for 1. Then in the extended play, able to finish off Desperton, but as we saw, Captain Nuke came over, got 1 kill. It looks like he's about to get another.
Yep, needs a Q, flash auto, that'll do instead.
Yeah, nicely done there by Captain Nuke. Not much going on right now for Yang, and the Triforce is coming pretty soon here now for Captain Nuke, and that is going to be really hard to deal with.
Yep, Blade of the King dumped to Yang, but it was not enough, and that all in. Bloodwater forced a flash. Deadly Throw doesn't quite land it. Wesley does get the slow. Still looking to try and take him down. Bullets needs to hold on to him. Juke the last one. Bloodwater, how long can he put the shoes on for? He does get out from all of them. And now the taunt gonna land in. The let's bounce back in. Damage is good. Latman takes down White. despite the decent off from Wesley to try and put back in, but here
behind.
comes Nuke, there's one. Reset there for the Blade Surge, alrighty low. Doesn't quite get arrow, but still dies to Bloodwater, who's again securing kills. That's 4 dead. Basically an extended ace dead from UCI.
Yeah, they're killing them all, and Yang walking up here. You got to be careful there, bud. Might get run down.
Oh, no. Descaradon goes forward, doesn't quite get him with the taunt. Wasn't large enough, but Youngbin's gonna finish that off. Vanguard's out, thrown in just for good measure, and the extended ace turns into a real ace.
Yeah, Yang having a laugh about it. I think they know their time in this game is limited, and their days in this series are numbered.
Gold Lead says that as well. More than 10,000 gold ahead now at 17.5 minutes from UCI. The quality of play we've seen from them all tournament long is Bloodwater did so much here.
Yeah, he's got the Nikes on. He's juking out everything, delaying so much time. They can't even get the 1 kill. And also gets a really nice channel ultimate. I mean, they're just so much stronger. The flank coming in from Captain Nuke is really what seals the deal. Hits the actual stun over the wall to get the Blade Surge reset onto Quirk and pick up a 2nd kill. A clean Aurelia play there from Captain Nuke.
Well, it's been pretty clean most of the tournament here. The University of California, Irvine. So UMD will see what pixie dust they got left in their back pockets, because they're going to just sprinkle it on everyone.
Very liberally. They're going to need a lot of magic.
Get the coach back in there and just start dusting the players.
It's time to start unplugging monitors at this point. That's probably their best chance. But UMD definitely fighting it out. We'll see if they can make any really nice play. When you're talking about it, realistically, a comeback from this point needs not only incredible play from them, but also numerous mistakes from UCI. And the only way I really see it is A, through constant pickoffs in the side lane.
Like this. Oh wait, that's the wrong team. Youngpin gonna take down Yang. Where's the XP to defend him? Youngpin though jukes it out with the ulti, zips away with the hook shot, and actually moves the Galio back in to try and disrupt it. Wesley can't make it too far at all. That's gonna be another kill. UCI covering all their bases.
Yeah, just not quite enough damage there to take down Youngbin. And yeah, I mean, it's hoping for pickoffs like that nonstop in the side lane. You hope that as UMD catch out Captain Nuke, splitting too far, kill him off a bunch of times, keep delaying the game. The only other real option is maybe the biggest of wombo combos. You catch everyone in his Zyra ult, but everyone in the Zac combo, and you hope to blow him up. But both are going to be very, very difficult to make happen.
Especially given that, again, still needing to farm up and just find some gold to begin with.
Yeah. And the fact that UCI can just kind of 1-3-1 this game very easily. I mean, you leave MF, Ashe, Galio sitting mid. You put your Super Fred Aurelia in one lane, your Super Fred Camille in the other game, in the other lane rather. And even if one of those guys gets picked off in the side lane, it takes 2 to 3 members to kill them. And then you're expecting to lose turrets and objectives on the other side of the map, or potentially even in both other lanes. So there's just not really the pieces in place. Like, no one can answer the Camille or the Aurelia in a split push. The Galio can also join them, and there's 2 of them, so it gets very difficult.
Yeah, Galio tips the scales, I think, a little too far. As 2 Trinity Forces completed pretty close to each other there, the UCI. Like you said, with Camille and Aurelia ready to go in those side lanes, so again, expecting UCI to follow the script here as far as what they need to be doing, and also setting up around Baron, because they clipped the 20-minute mark, and the big purple worm is a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have to split push. They can just look for fights, and they are going to catch Quezzy here.
Uh-oh, his own jungle. Blue buff taken away just to add insult to injury.
It's so hard because you lose full control of your jungle.
Oh, that
another kill.
Real sick from Latman. Bloodwater again, securing kills like it's his job.
They could just walk down and actually take the inhibitor here, because if anyone shows up to defend, you just simply dive them. Yang is in the middle of nowhere. It's the proxy Lucian in the bottom lane here.
I think some accurate question mark pings from UCI. I mean, Yang's trying something, but they're losing the inhib, which they may have lost already. Going to get aggressed on by Youngbin, who was just playing with his food a little.
Yeah, and they're going to back off. I mean, they could just potentially dive and try to finish the game, but no need to risk it here. They want to secure their trip to the finals. The Baron is on the table. They're picking up so much global gold. They are 50,000 gold ahead.
Oh, Youngmin trying to make a big play. Turns into a big oopsie as Quirk picks up a kill.
Yeah, the big shutdown there onto Young.
The real carry, the Zyra. Ooh, actually, where's he? 1v3, make it 2. Quirk here, maybe he can find the ulti. Roots out, trying to get his teammate a safety. Descadon says, not this time. I remember, I will kill you. And Bloodwater again secures that one for himself.
Yeah, Zyra just getting shredded down. Wesley looking for something. Ryan's coming in.
Oh, Galio wants to cover it. Wesley might get knocked up.
No.
He does barely eat the end of it, but it's White that pays the price. Latman with a point-blank arrow.
Quirk giving himself a round of applause there.
Was he in the passive?
Oh, Captain Nuke is behind him.
Ooh, it looks like Reset City. There's one. Gonna make it a double as that goes down as well. The turret starting to just fall left and right.
17,000 gold lead ahead at 22 minutes is quite a mountain to climb, and they are pinging over onto Baron. Can go grab this up for themselves and put it even that much further out of reach. And UCI, you know, the blemish in game 3 perhaps, you know, not giving the respect over to Maryland and the competition that they have brought out, and Maryland playing a very explosive game in game 3. But UCI really has been in control throughout this series. In all of their games, they have been looking very dominant. They have been looking like the tournament favorites, playing the map incredibly well, individually very strong players, and they are well on their way to making it into the finals.
Well, the finals it will be. Columbia is waiting for them if they can claim this victory here. It looks all over but for the crying at this stage of the game. And for Bloodwater, a player that, you know, already had pro experience and now finishing college, is actually a senior. He'll be done in his last ever college championship. So, I mean, what a better way to end your season or end your college than go to the finals and hopefully pick up a victory.
Yeah, and I mean, potentially, you know, it could be the last professional game of his career, right? You know, is he going to go back to pro? You know, is he going to continue to actually pursue that and try to get into academy or something? We don't really know, right? He's already, you know, been up in the LCS and now playing in the collegiate, getting his degree. And as a senior, this may be your last chance, really, at that professional game. And going out, you know, with a victory would feel really, really good.
Gonna have to get there first, and UMD are not going quietly into this good night, that is for sure. But Captain Nuke has found a target he really likes. It's Quirk. Youngbin actually gonna get credit on the back end of that one. Oh, Yang, he's trapped out again. Here's proxying between two champions in a red buff. Bloodborne, I guess his 5th kill of the game. Racking him up right now, making Latman look like the support in this lane.
Yeah, killing him up all across the map here. And White is going to have to spend his time recalling, but this is going to do it for UCI. Should be able to close this one out.
Yeah, more than enough power, more than enough gold. They've played so well to get to this point. It's one last hurrah for the University of Maryland, but UCI going to shut it all down. The bounce, not bad, but Youngbin gets yet another kill. He's diving into the fountain with a Hextech ultimatum. He's zipped up from under the deadly flourish. The X is exposed, and UCI will punch their ticket to the finals. After this happens, there we go. There's a couple kills to make the scoreboard look good.
29-4 in the final game there. UCI looking pumped up. They're going to the finals. Bouncing back very strong here in game 4 after losing that game 3, but they look dominant. They look very, very good. A well-composed team, dominant solo laners, dominant bot lane, and Youngbin is playing very well in the jungle. So these guys are really a complete squad.
Yeah, and I think, again, we talk about the talent of their players, and that's pretty undeniable given the level of play we've seen for them all tournament long, but we're going to keep going back to it until it just isn't true anymore. The way they play together and they play the map specifically is just so clean. I think you said it on day one, where you're like, I just didn't expect this.
Yeah, I mean,
a team at this level.
They really are looking at like a higher level, and it makes sense. I mean, they have 3 former LCS players, right? So they are bringing that experience, they are bringing that knowledge to the collegiate scene, and really helping to up the level of the program here at UCI. Definitely looking very, very good in this tournament and in this series in particular, but definitely shout out to the University of Maryland, who put on quite a performance, especially in game number 3. I think the most exciting game we've had in the whole event so far.
I have to agree. We also had Nunu, Tom Kent, Morgana top lane.
Yep.
We got all sorts of shenanigans. Even game 1 with Ezreal, Karma, Tarek had its moments, certainly for Maryland. So I know they were playing, you know, with a little less pressure, and I think can be proud of themselves for how far they got and what they've shown on stage.
Definitely the case. I mean, making it all the way to the semifinals here, taking a game off of UCI. I think that Maryland certainly showed that they are very good individual players, that they can have these highlight moments, that they can, you know, make plays happen and team fight incredibly well. They're just missing kind of that extra step that UCI has, where they play better as a team. They have a higher level of macro and play the map just kind of better than their opponents, and that's very hard to overcome, and that's kind of one of the differences often between semi-pro and the really top-level pro teams. So hopefully going to see a lot of these guys back from UMD. Really excited
Oh,
to
yeah.
see more of Wezzy in particular. I think he was a very exciting playmaker.
Yeah, I think it's funny to me that he didn't play aggressive junglers a little sooner, because I feel like
Getting banned.
I mean, I know that like literally Kha'Zix Rengar every game got taken away from him, so it's tough sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's going to be quite the final. Colombia versus UCI. For UCI, I mean, they said it we played their sick promotional video already. They said that, you know, it's not just, oh, we want to prove we're good. We want to start building a legacy for our school. You know, UBC's won twice. Just change that last letter and let these guys win a couple times. At least that's the plan.
Yeah, and I mean, for UCI, and for a lot of these teams that have really fantastic programs that are supporting them, you know, we heard a lot about teams saying, hey, we don't have that support and we want to try to perform very well to get it. For UCI and for some of these orgs that are having this fantastic support, they want to show that they are worthy of that. They want to show that they deserve the continued support of their school and maybe even more going forward. You know, and having these incredible performances is definitely a good way to do that.
Certainly starting off on the right foot, but to hear more from our finalists, let's head it back down to Ovely, who's standing by with the victorious jungler.
My jungler just ran away. Oh, wait a second. There he is, Youngvin. Congratulations on your victory. First things first, I want to hear your thoughts on that interesting series.
Okay, so the last series, they wanted to play solo queue, so we just answered with the solo queue too. Yeah. If they want to play solo queue, we'll show them the solo queue.
Now, they had some interesting picks yesterday, so were you kind of expecting the solo queue today?
Not really. I mean, we just wanted to play like a, you know, competitive game. Like I play tank, you know, stuff like that, but it ended up that way, so.
I like it, taking it seriously even when you faced with solo queue. But the last time that we saw you play competitively and on this stage was when you were with Team Liquid. So how does it feel to be back?
It feels definitely good to be back, and I wish I was playing AD carry, but you know, I was playing jungle. So I mean, still like playing on the stage is really cool experience, and you know, I really miss this, you know, like those adrenaline like pumping into my, you know, so I missed it.
Speaking to that, for new viewers probably watching, they probably couldn't even tell by your play today that this jungle is the third role that you've swapped to. How has that transition been for you?
My team were really supportive about it. Like even though I was kind of struggling in the early stages, like getting used to the jungle and stuff like that, but they were really supportive about it. My teams were, the program was supporting too. So I think now I'm pretty good at it.
Pretty good. You've made it to finals, and you're going to take on Colombia tomorrow. How confident are you going into that match, and what do you think of them?
We are definitely confident playing against them, and then we've been playing like scrim against them before, you know, and then the scrim result was really favored towards us. So I think we are definitely confident to play. I kind of wish to play against the defending champion, but they, you know, they lost in the set series. So.
That they did. Well, Youngvin, congratulations again on your victory. Wish you the best of luck with tomorrow. And for more on the game, let's hear from the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, Avali, Youngvin, and also Youngvin. We had two of them on that. It was great. I couldn't tell which one was real, which one was him, but either way, it was a great interview. And yes, UCI were victorious. Shout out the 3-1 correct guess there. I don't think any of us saw Game 3 coming. But still,
he called it.
Yeah, I mean, sort of. Either way, this is basically, here's the game in a nutshell. Unlucky level 1 into the rest of the game as well.
Yeah, this is you can call it unlucky, but you should know, like, you went for a big invade up on the top side that was spotted out. What do you think they're doing? They're going to be invading your bot side, so a little preventable, but then a great job by UCI to keep exploiting that advantage they already created for themselves.
Yeah, and also exploiting the immobile bot lane, looking like they could easily dive down there. But to UMD's credit, they were able to kind of get some good fights, except Zach kept ulting the Galio in while he was taunting, which I believe happened in almost every fight, including this one.
Yeah. It was one of those things where it's like, I can get multiple targets with my ult. It's like, I don't think you want to pull that Galio back.
Who's already channeling W, so he's like just ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, the game was already looking pretty bad. We kind of touched on the fact that MF was kind of the traditional hard counter into Zyra, so they picked that one. The level 1 didn't go well, the top side wasn't going well, and everything kind of fell apart.
You're seeing lots of damage out of every player right here on UCI, right? Like, they just sort of won overall as a team. This was a 24-minute, honestly, stomp. You can see the gold graph already looking bad from the first, you know, couple of minutes. So it's weird. It was like the sort of game you expected, at least I expected, coming into the series. And like, hey, at least it was a bit competitive. That game 3 was really cool. But yeah, this was a series of UCI seemingly outclassing their opposition.
Yeah, it's really funny to see that goal graph too, because it ended at 20K, so you didn't realize how big of a deficit they were in 5 minutes in the game. It was like a 2K gold lead, which is really hard to come
Really big from that series.
Yeah, and I actually want to give a shout out to Yang. Even though he might not have played the cleanest games, at least he played what he wanted, and he stuck to his guns, playing Yasuo and Lucian with Ignite, which, you know, not everyone has the balls to do, so shout out to him.
Yeah. Well, nice stuff there. Now we are going to send it back to Avli, this time for interview with UCI's top laner.
Thanks, guys. I am here with Captain Nuke. Congratulations on that victory. Now, beforehand, your team insisted that I interview you today because you had something that you wanted to say, something about you had some beef with some players on Maryland. Can you fill me in on that story?
All right, so we didn't necessarily have beef, but then like I used to play in high school Star League with two of their members, their top laner and their mid laner, and then we competed. We were in the grand finals, and then they beat us, and then they made me cry. They're essentially my high school bullies. They pretty much took my Pop-Tarts away from me and threw it on the floor. They bullied me for my lunch money online. So it's great that I'm getting revenge on them here.
What a revenge story, and against the top laner, no less. He came in with some interesting picks. I mean, were you expecting to, you know, just roll all over him today?
I mean, of course. Of course I would roll over him, but then like, I thought that his picks were really exciting, and I was like really excited to play against what he had because I embraced the cheese for sure, and I think me and him are really close now, so it's cool.
And it looked like a lot of the team put a lot of focus behind you and allowed you to basically do whatever you wanted top. How did you feel with that team comp?
Well, that team comp, I knew that we had Camille, we had Irelia, we had Galio, like, no matter what, we could dive their backline. It was like really oppressive, like, and considering that I won lane, like I knew it was like over. So there really wasn't anything they could do with the Lucian top.
Well, you've made it all the way to finals. What would taking home that trophy mean to you?
It would definitely mean it would be the greatest thing I've accomplished in League for sure.
Wonderful. And I heard something special about you was on Thursday, you actually drove back from LA to UC Irvine to complete some finals. So how was your performance on your finals as good as it was here today?
Well, I definitely got destroyed on my finals, but in return, I destroyed their top laner, so I think it's all worth it.
Worth it in the end. Congratulations again on your victory. Back to the desk.
Hashtag worth. I agree, personally. I thought that was the right choice.
He didn't need to admit it, because there's video footage of him destroying the enemy team's top lane. He could have just lied and been like, I crushed that final like I crushed that top lane.
But I appreciate the honesty. It means I like him more.
I'll lie.
Yeah, I know. You're just a scumbag, and you're going to be fired off the desk tomorrow. Now, UC Irvine picked up the win today, and while a lot of the big plays came from the team working great as a unit, some additional credit has to go to our player of the series. You just saw him on the screen, Captain Nuke in the top lane, who had some really incredible Camille games and everything else.
It was definitely a player we had our eye on because Yang had so many crazy picks in the previous series that felt like it helped change the momentum of that one. And so once you saw that Captain Nuke was up to the challenge, had his own aggressive picks that he was willing to play into them, you saw just how dominant he was.
Yeah, and it's funny because out of all the players on UCI, he's the one that I personally knew the least. So I had no expectations for him coming into this series. However, he was able to just blow Yang out of the water and completely clean up the top lane and carry on from there.
I want to point out that 4% at the very bottom, by the way. Like,
big numbers.
Getting above 30 is like quite high. 70 is stupidly ludicrous, where he's like just killing the Cho'Gath under turret, like taking turret shots for auto trades. Like, definitely was a huge wedge into the game.
Yeah, and you have to give a special shout out to Youngbin, who had a lot of plays with him. The two of them really set up a camp in Yang's lane and got a lot of those leads together. But I do think you really have to give a tip of the cap to Captain Nuke in particular, who did get those advantages.
Tip the cap. Mark, that was good. I appreciate you. Now, as we wrap up the day, let's take a look at how we fared when it came to predicting over-unders. The first one was the series going to be an hour 43 minutes, or hour 35 minutes or less. 1 hour 58. Easy over right there. So I suck.
Game 3.
Unlucky there. I know, right? Next up, 5.5 unique champions in the top lane. Now, the prompter says 7, but I want to sort of pose a caveat here. If you pick the champion that was already played in the series, such as Irelia or Lucian, maybe it's only worth like 1/4 credit, and so it's like 5.5 instead of 7.
But me and Mark would disagree because we are objectively right, and then we win.
Yeah, it's unique top picks.
Yeah, and they weren't unique picks in the top lane because they were picked elsewhere. So, I mean, really, who's to know who was right? Either way, you can let me know on Twitter. It was me. And that's all I really care about.
Yeah, you can do that if you want.
Yeah, okay, cool. So I won. You both agreed with that one. And now before we go, let's take a look at our schedule for tomorrow. There is only one thing left to be seen, and that is who will be crowned our 2018 college champion. It comes down to a best-of-5 between University of California, Irvine and Columbia College. These are definitely two teams people expected to be here. The roads will be not quite the same that we're expecting.
Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to that top matchup now because Stumpy has been putting in work all weekend long, and then especially this series, Captain Nuke stepped up. So we've seen a lot of carry performances in the past couple days, and you can expect some more head-to-head carry action.
Yeah, and also that top lane matchup is interesting also because they play different kind of style champions. We've seen Captain Nuke on the more meta champions like the Renekton, the Singed. Although Camille's not super meta, she's still kind of meta, whereas Stumpy's playing Yasuo, Fiora, things that people don't really play right now, so should be exciting.
I have a quick question for you actually here, because you were at this stage about a year ago prepping for the finals. Sort of what's going through the players' minds now when they're like, okay, well, we're playing again in like 20 hours and it's time to shine?
Well, first, you go out for dinner to celebrate making finals, and then after that, you go back to your hotel and you watch the VOD of the enemy team, look at all their picks, look at the pick order, kind of study the way that they try to play the map, and then try to come up with a game plan for tomorrow as best as you can.
Do you ever think there's any value to playing the kind of series that UCI just did where you got to show like a lot of really crazy stuff that might like put fear in the enemy, or do you think like, ah man, we showed our hand, this isn't what we wanted?
No, I feel like UCI was kind of just matching the troll of Maryland, so they should probably have a couple more competitive picks up their sleeves. If I was CC, I'd definitely be prepping right now heavily because UCI is looking like a scary team.
Yeah, we heard it was either Nuke or Youngbin said like scrims had gone very well for them specifically. So UCI, I think, coming in as the favorites based on maybe off-screen results. Now, before we leave, of course, a very big thank you to both JJ and Invert, there we go, who we had earlier on the show. You guys are both very much wonderful. But now, for myself, the casters, and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you tomorrow for the College Championship Finals.
Welcome to our first semifinal of the weekend. On the blue side, it's going to be Columbia College.
Facing them on the red side, it's the University of Illinois.
The pullback as well for Never Move. Turret damage going out huge on the Project One.
Go, keep going. Go. Okay, look you up. I'm
healing. Twin. Topopotamus doing what he can with Danny and New behind him as a huge wall. And it looks like Evan O'Rourke can't get to the targets he needs to. This might be Danny's. He's gonna turn him back and forth. No, he does go to the right. He finds it. And Columbia College come out on top. Julian about to get the scream out. Twin Fangs and Noob. Flash forward. Oh, gets him with the petrified gaze.
Pillar. Blood. Take a blood.
Nice.
Let's go, boys.
You could have saved him. Could have got the kill. They are going to save him. Stumpy's still alive, and Orange is going to be coming up soon as well. Columbia College, in 3-0 fashion, will get their shot at college champion.
But what if I'm watching Evan, but Evan has the door closed, and I'm watching from outside the door? Then we don't know if Evan's asleep or if he's dead.
Oh, you guys took your jackets on? You're right.
Oh boy.
The sleep uncertainty principle.
Where's he though going to get it going early? What a great dazzle! Bloodwater ignited and taken down for first blood. Oh, Nuke is locked down already. Kai's trying to dodge out of the way with the supercharger, but no chance at all.
Kaiser. That's all I can do. That's all I can do.
Nice.
Pop up.
Yeah,
Jerry. You're gone. He doesn't have flash.
I got him.
Doesn't have flash.
Pull him to us. Good job!
Nice.
Let's go!
Bloodwater trying to cut it out. The dual lane needs to live for a little while longer, but O'Reilly, he's going to make it happen. Where's he? Finds a Q. That's an ace! But
Duke
still the fight looking okay.
The ult is there.
Goes back through. So much damage. White plays down the carry.
Yo, you guys can win. You guys can end the game. Yeah, you can.
Duke's going to try and make it happen. What a wonderful Vanguard dance. We're going to chase down Yak. Gets him with the tip of the W.
Rise.
Chase.
Youngbin gets yet another kill. He's diving into the fountain with a Hextech ultimatum. He zipped out from under the deadly flow. The X is exposed, and UCI will punch their ticket to the finals.